Welcome to the November 21st, 2014 edition of Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on the Colorado Department of Transportation making the 900 community comments about the I-70 project in North Denver open to the public in an unprecedented move. CDOT has created the website i70east.com for people to see all the comments before the next environmental impact study is released next year. Patty Calhoun from Westward, this is going to be a topic of conversation from this table for years to come. But as this is starting, do you think this unprecedented move of putting comments on a website gets the discussion going in the public and addresses some of those transparency concerns we've been chatting about in the last couple of weeks?
Well, it was a smart move by CDOT. We have been talking about this for over 10 years. I mean, the feds started looking into what to do with I-70 as it goes through Globeville and kind of crumbles through Globeville. Anyone who's been on that viaduct knows it's not the most secure spot. Clearly something has to be done, and the original plan was just to widen it, and Don Hunt, the outgoing head of the Department of Transportation, did look at an alternative. The current plan is an alternative which calls for a platform that kind of reunifies some of the neighborhood, addresses some of the issues, but other people would far prefer it just going all around the city altogether. And that's what a lot of those comments are pushing for in those 900 comments. And both the feds and CDOT have been pretty adamant in the fact that that's not the direction they're going. And Michael Hancock's administration, which you would think would be weighing in on this, has been very silent. So the real issue will be, does the discussion extend? Well, Dennis Gallagher is actually the only city official who's been making a lot of noise about it, and he likes the alternative. So this is going to be one hot topic in the next year.
Craig Silverman, radio talk show host with KNUS, attorney with Silverman and Olivas. How will these comments affect the process? Is it just window dressing? Is it just to say, hey, we've been public, but they're going to go their own way anyway? Or is there going to be some effect from all these comments?
I think it depends on the comments. If they're intelligent, people should read it, because I-70 is a major part of Denver and Colorado. There's no getting around it. And I've done a lot of things for this show to prepare, but I drove down I-70 today to get a sense of it. And that's scary. It's sort of a death trap.
We never want you to take your life in your own hands and get ready for the show.
But I'll tell you what, as you come off of 225 onto I-70, which is the way a lot of people first experience Denver, to see Denver on a day like this framed with Mount Evans in the background is just extraordinary. You can almost have a scenic location right there. So we have to do it right. And, you know, this underground methodology, all I can tell you is that Spear and Broadway, they did that where it went under, and a lot of people thought, how's that going to work? But it's worked beautifully. They don't have flooding. So I know there's a much bigger project, but that gives me hope that something like that can be smoothed out.
Eric Sonderman, political analyst, it seems that this is going to make T-Rex look like a pothole project. This is going to be a big deal. Where do these comments and their appearance play in the whole process?
I'm interested in just the methodology of the comments. I mean, in days of old, whenever there'd be a big public project like this, you do all these public meetings with what I call stale coffee and bad donuts and what have you, and that became sort of the town hall or the form of civic participation and how people could input these process. Now with technology, there's so many other ways, and in the firm I used to be with, I mean, we explored those on some projects of where you can actually go online and comment not just about the whole project, but about a specific piece and leave a flag about what's happening on your block or down the street or whatever. So this is, I mean, I applaud CDOT for releasing the comments. It was the right thing to do. It's easy in this day and age, and there are other, even more technological ways you can go in that regard. Quickly on the project, you know, maybe it is our version of the Big Dig. It's nothing like the Boston Big Dig, but maybe it's our version of the Big Dig. I actually think the idea of undergrounding it, or a portion of it, so that you can reconnect those neighborhoods, have a plaza or something above it, has some significant legs. It's wonderful to talk about an ideal world, but ideal worlds carry cost. And there has to be a balancing act, and the idea of just routing this completely around the city, I don't think is going to pass any cost test. So I don't think ultimately that's where it ends up. So how do you make the best of the given situation?
Penfield Tate, a longtime state lawmaker, attorney with Greenberg Traurig. Patty brought up a really good point about Dennis Gallagher really being the only city official openly talking about it, and I'm not sure if it's a coincidence because he's the only one not running for re-election, or at least he's ending his political career, he's retiring. I'm not sure if anyone else is running for re-election, but there's maybe some political futures ahead of them. What do you think of the process as it currently stands?
Well, first of all, I feel I owe this to Dennis. I think we have to correctly state his term as auditor is ending. Don't assume that Dennis's political career is over. Now,
very fair
having
statement.
said
Very fair
that,
statement.
number one, I applaud CDOT because I think they did the absolute right thing by putting these comments where they're publicly available so that folks can see what the community is seeing and thinking. But I would also encourage both CDOT and the city and county of Denver to go further. A lot of momentum is building behind the bypass alternative, which I personally have supported for a number of years since this project started. And now you're seeing more and more people in the neighborhoods aided by a lot of really good technical support and some political support. They did a charrette where the former mayor of Milwaukee came out and talked about how he started rerouting interstates out of his city to sort of an environmental justice piece to bring neighborhoods together. So I think, this needs further conversation. I think Dennis is out in front of this, and sooner or later, the rest of city government is going to need to sit down with these neighborhoods and some of the other proponents of alternatives, because although it is a CDOT project, it has massive implications for the city and county of Denver. And the city needs to more actively engage and hear from everyone, not just CDOT on this issue.
Well, that's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.